All right, what is up, everybody? Divine Hood here, coming at you with another daily update on Bitcoin. Also, if I have some time, I will go over some altcoins. I might have to make a second video on altcoins a little bit later, but let's go over Bitcoin's price action. All right, so yesterday we saw the mega dump. We saw more liquidations in the crypto market, more than FTX, more than the COVID crash. Pretty much the most liquidations we've seen in a very long time on fears of trade wars with China, Mexico. Now that was only part of the catalyst. Of course, we did have technical reasons as well. We had closed the monthly candle back within the value area high of the bigger range. We had dropped to the point of control. We had that bounce from the point of control. We came up to the value area high again, and I'm talking about the value area high of this small range here from January 17th to present day. You see we came up to the value area high, rejected that value area high, lost it, and then we saw the mega dump yesterday. A lot of liquidations. $2.3 billion worth of liquidations, but that's really only on the exchanges where the API connects up to like CoinGlass and other things like that. A lot of people are projecting there was actually even up to $8 billion worth of liquidations. Now, that is a lot of liquidations, and we just saw the entire crypto market get flushed out and reset. We saw some altcoins drop 30, 40% since Friday highs down to yesterday's lows. And now, what happened on Bitcoin is we lost the point of control. We were trying to hold it yesterday. Once we lost it, we saw the capitulation down to the value area low of the large range since November 11th, just this large range. And I talked about this in yesterday's video. All we're doing is still playing the range. Lost the value area high, went to the POC. POC didn't hold. We went to the value area low. We had a pretty strong bounce from the value area low here. And earlier today, we were watching Bitcoin pump up, and we actually had a pretty significant push up here. We could be in a impulse to the upside, and we can look at this a couple ways. Let's go onto our 15-minute chart here. And there is two ways we can be looking at this impulse. We can either look at it as just our normal 5-wave impulse, which we could say wave 1 here, wave 2 here, wave 3 is where we're ending now. We might see a retracement for wave 4, and then wave 5 we could end up around the value area high of the range. Or we could look at this as a double 1-2 as well, which is even a little bit more bullish. Now, we don't have a Elliott count for that, but it's a 1 2 1 2. This is our third wave here. We could see a 4 5 4 5, which if you have a double 1 2, you have a double 4 5 at the end. So we are in it. It looks like we are in an impulse to the upside. Let's watch how this reacts here at this key resistance. So what I talked about in yesterday's video, I highlighted possible resistances above. Of course, our first one was our point of control, and our point of control here, we really kind of busted straight through it. Bitcoin's been very volatile lately, and it's not even the higher time frame resistances or supports are sometimes getting flushed right through. And that's why it's important to wait for confirmation in order to take these trades here. And actually, let me go into the 15-minute chart. So on the 15-minute chart, we saw the start of the impulse of the third wave here. We got above this large point of control. Now, this point of control on Coinbase is at 98,587. On Bybit, it's quite a bit lower. If we zoom out onto Bybit here, let's go onto the 6-hour chart. And let me get rid of this here. And let's do this range pull here from these lows here all the way. And you can see on Bybit, it's about a 97.4. So it's a whole $1,000 lower. And here you can see it front ran on the Bybit chart. We did not hit the point of control, but on the Coinbase chart, we did bounce from the point of control there. So I do think the Coinbase levels are being a little bit more respected here. With our Coinbase levels, our value area high is at 103K, pretty much exactly 103,030. Now, if we do the Fibonacci pull, if we look at our Fibonacci pull from the all-time high to the lows that we made yesterday, our golden pocket is coming in, our 0.65 of the golden pocket is coming in right at the value area high at 103K. So this to me is very important resistance. We also are at an important resistance right now. We are rejecting from our 618 of the golden pocket and our weekly level here. And then also we did have a naked weekly point of control there as well. So if we turn on the periodic volume profile and we'll look at this, let this load up here. All right, you can see our naked weekly, well, that's our naked daily point of control, but we also have our naked weekly point of control was there as well. So let's switch this over to the weekly. All right, and you can see we had that naked weekly point of control that was right below as well. So we're finding resistance in this box between the naked weekly point of control and our weekly level. We also have the 618 in there. So right now we are at a resistance. I would like to come just a little bit higher to this value area high in 0.65 of the golden pocket. That is to me a little bit of a nicer area to reject from. We can get everybody bullish to think we're flipping this weekly, hit into here, and then see a bigger correction. Also, if we look at our Elliott impulse, we technically do have one more 4-5 that can complete, and that would bring us up to that 103 area. As well, we are close to our value area low of this range here. And this range value area low is about where we're at right now. It's about 102. And so we're in a resistance area. We did see an amazing pump today after the massive liquidation cascade. The markets reset, the funding rates reset, and now we are seeing a explosive pump today. But we are at resistance, and you guys, we still need to pay attention to what's happening in the larger context. We are still just trading in the range, but if we zoom out to our daily levels, I still am concerned that we could put in a lower high here and make new lows. Because first of all, if we do a Fibonacci pull and we take the, come on, there you go, Fibonacci pull from high to low here, and we turn on our 886, you can see that we did tap the 886. Now, anytime you tap an 886, it is more probable than not that you come take these lows eventually where the fib pull started from. So we've hit our 886. We are seeing a very strong bounce from this, but it is just a concern. It makes the probability higher that we come for these lows now that we hit this 886 here. Now, we've closed yesterday's candle, really today's candle, closed 17 minutes ago, very bullishly. Like, this is a very bullish looking candle. Look at the wick on this candle. Look at the body on it. We have closed this candle very bullishly. It could signal for some more signs up. We also do have our momentum wave. Looks like it's trying to curve over here on the daily, but I am concerned about maybe a day or two of hitting up into this value area high, ranging, continuing to form a range in here for a few days, and then dumping right back down, because we still do have our money flow coming out pretty aggressively during this whole entire range. We still do have our bear divs that are in play here. And if we zoom out onto the monthly chart, let's look at the monthly chart. We do have possible confirmations of monthly bear divs. Lower lows on the momentum indicators, obviously higher lows on the price action here. And anytime you see high time frame divs like this, we really need to be aware that these could start to play out. Now, a monthly bear div like that could take a while to play out, so it doesn't have to happen tomorrow. It doesn't even have to happen next week. But if these do confirm and our February candle closes red, these monthly bear divs could really start to play out, and we can see the drop to maybe our levels much lower, 85K, 72K to 70K. We really need to be aware of this. I know this looks really bullish here, and this is the start of an impulse to the upside. Looks nice right now, but we just need to be aware of a lower high coming in before more downside. Now, this has recovered very fast, very quickly here, and a lot of the altcoins are getting massive recoveries today as well. Ethereum's making a great recovery. We're coming up into a resistance as well on Ethereum. We did have our major box here, but let me hide this real quick. We are at the midline of that descending channel on Ethereum. I'll come back to Ethereum. Let me go ahead and finish Bitcoin here. All right, so Bitcoin, we have our key resistances that we are at now. Our weekly and our 786 is what we're rejecting from at this moment. You can see we came up here just a couple hours ago, hit the weekly, perfectly hit into the 618. We're seeing the rejection here. Now we do have just above us this 0.65 in the value area high, which I like a little bit better. If we zoom out here, zoom in onto the 15-minute chart, we could see one more correction down to this anchored VWAP here. Now, this anchored VWAP is from the all-time high. We're flipping this anchored VWAP right now. We're breaking it to the upside. So maybe we can come down here to test this as support. And this anchored VWAP is around $100,629. It's going to change a little bit as time goes, of course, but we might be able to do this. This was our 4, 5. We might be able to come down here. Well, actually, we wouldn't want to see that because we don't want to break this low here. But we can also look at this as just a 4, 5 up here. And we could top out around that value area high and see a retrace from the value area high right up here. We also do have that value area high of the smaller range. Actually, no, that's not the value area. I'm sorry. Yes, that's not the value area high of the smaller range. That's this value area high here of the big November 11th range. Value area high at 103K. So this is the resistance. We're at resistance now. I would say I would look at this as two separate trades. We do have the one that we already kind of hit into and rejected from. So you're kind of late on this one here. And then our next one is up here at these 103 and 0.65. Now, if we break that to the upside, you guys, and we start to re-enter back within this range, then we can look for more targets back within this range. Let's go on to the daily chart here. And you can see we have our new daily level that is very close to our point of control of that range. This daily level here at 104,750-ish. So we have that new daily up there. And then we can also look for naked points of control. I know we do still have our naked point of control up here at 107.8. Let's see here. Okay, no weekly ones. Let's turn this back to the daily chart. All right. Come on here. All right, and we do also have a new naked daily point of control right on top of that daily, you guys. So this daily up here, we have a naked weekly, naked daily point of control, a daily level, and our point of control of the smaller range before we broke down, all at 104,700 to 104,750-ish. That, if we break 103, that's the next level of resistance I'm looking at. I'm not going to be looking at anything in between. Sure, we might have some smaller stuff in between, but I think that if we break this value area high at 103K, we could be in business for Bitcoin. But I do want to let you keep in mind the larger context of the market, seeing high time frame divs, seeing money flow come out. This could be a lower high in the making before coming back down and actually breaking this range to the downside. We did not take the liquidity from the 89K lows, and we still have our 87,300 daily down here, and we still have our 85K range liquidity lows here. All right, so this is what I'm looking at for local resistances. We're at one right now. We could see a small retrace from there. Then we can come up to 103 and maybe top out at 103. If we break that, we have our naked daily point of control and our daily at 104,750, along with the point of control of our smaller range is just above that, about 105. So those are the areas I'm looking for. And let's go onto a different chart, and I'm going to show you guys a bearish pitchfork I made based off of some local price action here. All right, let me get rid of that, and let me get rid of this bigger range here. Now, Bybit's value area high is about 103,400, 460. So it's a bit higher than Coinbase's. It's about $500 higher than Coinbase's. Just keep that in mind. Okay, let's get rid of this here. So I did have a bearish pitchfork that I started based off of this price action here. So if we look at our bearish pitchfork, we're going to go from the all-time high to the first big DeepSeek dump here, back up to our retrace highs. And you can also see this pitchfork has been very well respected. Bounced from the bottom here. We chopped around in the band for a bit early this morning, overnight and early this morning. And let's actually zoom in even further. You can see that when we rejected from the top of the band, came to the bottom of the band here. We're able to hold that as support. We shot above, kind of came back for a back test of the VWAP. We front ran the band just barely, but back tested the VWAP. And then that's when we got our explosion straight up through to the top of the band, the lower part of the top band. We rejected from the lower part of the top band, formed a range here. This is right where Coinbase's point of control was as well. Coinbase's point of control was at 98,500. So if we do 98,500-ish right here, and we were ranging around the Coinbase point of control, we were able to hold it overall as support after we broke it to the upside. And then we had another impulse to the upside. And guess where we went to? The top of the pitchfork. So we're at the top of the bearish pitchfork as well. We could see the bigger retrace down from the top of this pitchfork. Now, a couple things to look at if we want to maintain momentum on Bitcoin. Our prior highs here now will maybe act as support, just like they did with Solana earlier today. And if that time aligns, we could be seeing it align with the back test of the band as well. So we might want to be forming a little bit of a range in, oh, that's a totally wrong tool. We might want to form a little bit of a range in here. And then also, actually, we do need to watch for this head and shoulders that could be forming up here as well. Come back down into here and then make one more high into the value area high at 103K and then see a bigger dump to the downside. So if we zoom in here, let's go ahead and zoom in onto the 5-minute chart and let's look at this structure that we're seeing. We're at the top of a pump. So what is a head and shoulder? A head and shoulder is a topping reversal pattern. We are at the top of a pump that pumped very strongly today. And what we can look for here, left shoulder, head. We could come down here for a little bit. Right shoulder, come up to the top of the pitchfork again. Right shoulder, we could be making a head and shoulder pattern up here. We could see it dump and bring us down. And the target of the head and shoulder would be about that level. So if we do the measured move from here to about the neckline, which would be about here, we put it on the breakdown, which would be like here. And sure enough, that's right around our prior highs here. So that could be our local level of support. Now, guys, be careful trying to long a local level of support after an explosive move up like this. There was a lot of people today that were getting euphoric again, saying the bull market's back on. Bitcoin's going to new all-time highs. Here we go. We're going to 100, 150K. And, the trade war's over because Trump talked to Mexico and got stuff worked out. Just be aware, this is when the markets get really volatile, when there's a lot of leverage both ways. Obviously, there was a lot of long leverage on the way up for the past few months that got flushed out super hard over the weekend. Now we are seeing a lot of people that are longing, just recklessly longing in here at just any level in here, just randomly. And we could see another flush down to wipe out that leverage, especially people that were longing up in this last leg of this impulse here. So we really need to be aware of this. We really need to watch out for a move to the downside. Now, our first local support is going to be this pitchfork band here, along with our prior highs. If we break that to the downside, I do think our point of control, our Coinbase point of control, is now going to be a large support for us. Our Coinbase point of control is, when you see a point of control of a major range like that, usually we get respected through it. Usually the kind of stuff that's happened the past 2 days doesn't just flush through it like nothing, like knife through hot butter. Usually you do start to form a range. Even here in the Discord today, I talked about when we were coming up to this area, I said I would like to see us form a range here and then either dump from it or form a range and pump from it. And we did form a range and we pumped from it. We were seeing bullish CVD absorption. So now what can we look for? We can do a Fibonacci pull from the lows of wave 3 to the potential highs of wave 3 that we're seeing now. And let's go to our golden pocket. Our golden pocket is coming around the VWAP close, but that's a little bit below our point of control. Let's look for the correction target. So oftentimes, you guys, in a correction, the 0.5, especially for a fourth wave correction, it's between the 382 and the 0.5. So we have our 0.5 right around this point of control here. So I would say this is our next level. If we break this pitchfork band to the downside here, our next level I'd be looking at is around our 0.5, which I'll do it on this chart here. We can do that. And you can see our 0.5 is right around our Coinbase point of control. Now, our golden pocket for this same move is going to be around our Bybit point of control. So we do have some confusion here based off the different exchanges point of controls. Let's zoom out here onto the daily. Let me get this point of control on the chart and we can look at how this aligns up here. And then let's zoom in real nice. So yeah, our point of control is right on our 618 here. Let's mark that out here. We will put large point of control here, and let's zoom back in onto the 2-hour chart. So you can see the golden pocket. We do have some different signals based off of the different point of controls. So golden pocket in confluence with the Bybit point of control, and the golden pocket of the wave 3, not from the bottom of our wave 3 of our impulse to the upside. You could be looking at this as the wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4 could come to here. We could see the 5 come up to 103, or we really don't want to trace past this golden pocket for our wave 4 retrace, but we could see a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now that is a pretty deep retrace. That's why I also like the Coinbase point of control a bit better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to here at the top here, or maybe even to our 104 naked daily point of control, 104.7. All right, so that's our levels, you guys. That's what I'd be watching for. Now, as far as liquidity goes, you can see we have a lot of the majority of our liquidity. This is on the Model 2 heat map. Of the majority of our liquidity is above us. So we do have to expect we could come up this high, and the majority of the liquidity is above those semi-equal highs that we had here, a semi-equal high here, and then this one here. And we do have some resistances, some major resistances before then. But if Bitcoin is just going to see a V-shaped recovery, this is an area to be watching after we hit into our naked daily point of control. We do also have a naked daily point of control up here at 107,800, and we also have our swing failure pattern into that naked daily point of control, and that's these semi-equal highs here. And then this high is a bit lower, but we do have these semi-equal highs here at 107,300, 107,291 into our naked daily point of control up here. I don't think we're going to make it up there just yet. We do have some intense resistance right now that we're dealing with. We're dealing with our naked weekly point of control, our weekly and our 618 of the golden pocket. If we break that to the upside, we have our 6.5 in value area high. Now, this is the level that I'm really primarily concerned with here. If we break this to the upside, then yes, we could. What would happen is we would want to break it to the upside, back test it, and start to form a range and show strength here, and then come up to this one. Maybe we could break that, start to form a range, show strength, and then break this one here. But right now, we play it level to level. So we're getting, obviously right now, we're getting a little bit of a pullback. Let's go on to the 6-minute chart. You can see we're getting a little bit of that pullback now. We do need to watch for a head and shoulders topping pattern up here. We also can just play this range that we're building right now here. So it looks like overall we're trying to hold the value area low of this range. And our value area high of this range, we can do a Fibonacci pull from the highs, the local highs to the local lows here. And our golden pocket is coming in around that value area high. Point of control also has some liquidity here before this drop. Very internal liquidity. All right, so that's what I'm looking at on Bitcoin, guys. We just need to pay attention to what's going to happen here. We are rejecting from our first box of resistance, our first true box of resistance, which was our weekly and our 618, along with a naked weekly point of control right below us, about right here. And so about 102K. And so if we break that, we can expect to come up to this area here. 103 to 103.4, because Bybit's value area high is about 103.4. Actually, let's go onto Bybit and let's look at our golden pocket pull on Bybit. We also are at the top of the bearish pitchfork. So if we're going to continue, that's another resistance confluence that we're at right now. Let me get rid of some of this smaller stuff here. Let me get rid of this. All right, let's do the Fibonacci pull from high to low. Yes, we have front run the 618 on Bybit. So that when we hit into a golden pocket, really we want to see all the exchanges hit into that golden pocket. So that is a sign that we could come up a little bit more. And also our 6.5 of the golden pocket is a bit higher than our 6.5 on Coinbase. Our 0.65 on Coinbase is at 102,988. On Bybit, our 618 or 6.5 is at 103,278. So about a $300 difference there. And we do need to watch for our value area high as well. We can do that range pull once again. I should have just put it on the chart the first time. Let's do the range pull from here all the way onwards. And our value area high is just above. I think that was at 103,460-ish. Let's throw that on there. Here we go. 103,453 to 103,460-ish. So this is our value area high. And this area here between the 6.5 and the value area high is really primarily what I'm looking for. On Bybit, let's go into our weekly chart and let's throw on that weekly that we hit into. So this is no longer naked because we just hit it, but we just hit it like 2 hours ago or less. And yes, you can see that we did hit into that weekly on Bybit just perfectly here. Because Coinbase's golden pocket's a little bit lower, we hit Coinbase 618, but we have not hit Bybit's 618. That actually tells me here we could be forming a little bit of a range before we come up to this area up here. Between now, I would say with the Coinbase at 103 and Bybit at 103,500, I would say that's our level to watch between 103,500 and 103. So about this box here is where I would be watching for our local resistance if we break the weekly to the upside. Now, this weekly is still our resistance right now, and we could just continue to form a range or dump from here. As far as any divs go, let's see. Well, we did have 12-minute bear divs. Higher high on the price action here, lower high on the momentum waves. Actually, yeah, so there's our bear divs on the 12-minute. Let's go to the 15-minute. Same thing on 15. Higher highs on price action, lower highs on the momentum waves. Money flows coming out. We had bear divs coming up into this. This was an appropriate short to take from the weekly level, from our naked weekly point of control. Let's go to our hourly. No bear divs on the hourly, but this momentum wave really starting to look like it's going to top out. And look at money flow now. Now, money flow is starting to come out again. So we could see a drop down at least to make another higher low before maybe coming up to this box here. Let's go to the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart. So we did get the green dot at the beginning of the day down here, right in this red candle, actually down here. We got the pump, and that 4-hour green dot is playing out. Not much of a signal here. No signal here. We just haven't had enough time to form bear divs on the 4-hour chart yet because this was such an aggressive pump. So really, we're looking on the 1 hour and under. Let's go to the 2-hour. Let's see the 2-hour. 2-hour really doesn't even have time to make bear divs either. So the only time we've had is to form the bear divs on like the 15-minute under, and they're there. We have the bear divs here at our key weekly level back test. So we might see a retrace back down. This is something we need to be aware of. And now with the two different point of controls on Bybit and Coinbase, I would say this is our local level of support to be watching, because this is the Coinbase point of control. This is the Bybit point of control. So why don't we just mark it both out and have a box of support, just like we have our box of resistance up here between the Coinbase value area high and the Bybit value area high. All right, that's about it for Bitcoin, you guys. Now, on our one more thing I wanted to show you. These are our 200 SMA VWAP bands, and they really work well. You can see, well, now you can't see because they only go back 200 candles. We did hit into the top of the band as well. And so oftentimes when we hit into the top of these bands like this, we will see a retrace. And the next band is coming in around that 97.6 to 97.3, which is the Bybit point of control. Let's go to our CVD real quick. Let's refresh this and let's see if we see anything going on with our CVD. All right, CVD here. Nothing really locally here. Yeah, nothing really locally, you guys. I mean, if we do make a higher high, if we do make a lower high on here, but our CVD comes up a little bit more, we could be seeing some bearish absorption, but right now we are not seeing any bearish absorption. Let's go on to the 15-minute chart. Man, look at the open interest just continues to drop down because all these people probably were getting liquidated yesterday, and then now today you can see a lot of longs are coming in, but these longs, because our open interest is decreasing, those were late shorters that are getting stopped out, which is a market buy. So that's why our CVD is going up a little bit. Our open interest is going down overall. So people have been getting wrecked both ways the last 2 days. This has been a really volatile move on Bitcoin. We haven't seen something like this move in quite a while, really since the FTX collapse. And this is such a volatile move. What this tells me about Bitcoin is there's a lot of players in Bitcoin right now, in crypto in general, and there's a lot of leverage in the markets. I saw that we flushed out, there was like about $40 billion worth of leverage in the markets. We flushed out all the way down to $16 billion. So we flushed out over half the leverage that was in the markets. And of course, a lot of that leverage was long leverage that people were longing altcoins late, expecting them to go higher in a bull run, which I understand that we're in a bull run, but you have to have proper risk management. Okay, you guys, that's it for today. I'm going to have to make my other video later, and I will make a video updating on Solana, on Ethereum, on XRP, some of these other coins that are making some moves as well. Hope this helps. Everyone have a good day.